Welcome back to Squawk on the Street. So today we learned first look at fourth quarter GDP down 0.1%. And as many have been pointing out, like Steve Leisman, it isn't as bad as it looks if you're looking at the minus 0.1%, but it certainly isn't anywhere near the type of growth we need, and it is a disappointment. And further, using the notion that the government spending is the reason or part of the problem, I don't know. That doesn't hold with me, because just think about it this way. We had $1.1 trillion of borrowed money, debt increased, deficit increase on the budget numbers for 2012. So roughly we'll say $300 billion was borrowed in the fourth quarter. So let me get this straight. We borrowed $300 billion in the fourth quarter, and we end up with a growth rate of down 0.1%. If you look at third quarter spending by the government, which is one of the issues with this number, it happened to have been up in the third quarter, 0.75%, 0.75%. Now, I know there's conspiracy theorists out there, election, whatnot. I'm not talking about that. I'm just looking at it from a 2-month valuation. But let's get to the point of the barbershop scenario, okay? The notion that the Fed was right, I agree with on the weak economy. The economy is weak. I don't think it's crisis weak, but I think it is weak. So agreement with Ben Bernanke and the barbers of Fedville. Here's where I go in a different direction, hence the barber analogy, is that if you consider who used to go to barbers, okay, if you were sick and you went to a barber, they'd put leeches on you, bloodletting, that's why we have the wheel. If you didn't get better and you went back a week later, they're going to do the same thing. But is that why the patient isn't getting better? With regard to the Fed, their interpretation of weak economy, I think, is evident to many, even if you can't take your eyes off the Dow Jones or the S&P or the NASDAQ. But one thing seems for sure to me, going into the 6th year since we had the official designation in December of 2007 when that recession began, and that is whatever we're doing, the bloodletting, the leeches, it isn't working. Just because it's weak doesn't mean you do more leeches. It means you reevaluate. There were some positives within these numbers. Businesses are doing okay in certain areas, even better than okay in others. The stock market might not be necessarily reflecting the economy, but it is reflecting what makes America different than other countries. And even though there are many aspects of how we've turned into Europe, let's build on the issues that differentiate us from Europe. You know, we see Brian Sullivan talking about growth. I did the Santelli exchange about the pie. Let's think pie. Maybe tomorrow I'll be visiting a bakery. Carl, back to you.